Hello and welcome to another episode of Q Radio and Ulster Rugby's The Breakdown Podcast, a chance for us to sit down with the Ulster men and get to know them a bit beyond the pitch. Well, today I'm joined by Adam McBurney and Jonny Stewart. Boys, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Well, thanks for coming in as well. I know it's been a bit of a crazy week with the snow and the bad weather, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it has. We were actually training Tuesday whenever the snow came, first of all, so there was a few lads out clearing the pitch up at the start to get it ready for everyone to get onto later in the afternoon, but yeah, it's a cold one, but that's this time of year. For sure, and it's crazy as well, Jonny, to think in this country just how little snow it takes for everything to almost shut down.
Yeah, everything's gone into meltdown. I think roads have been pretty bad, but hasn't stopped us training, so been out there nonetheless.
Well, that's that. Well, Adam, you're of course injured at the minute. Care to tell us what exactly it is at the minute?
Yeah, so I broke the scaphoid in my hand 2 weeks ago now and got surgery on it last week, so I think I'm in a cast for 3 to 4 weeks now left, and then another 3 or 4 weeks of rehab, and hopefully get back then at the tail end of that. Yeah, it was a pretty sore one, but it's grand now.
It definitely sounds sore, especially when you hear the medical words used to describe the different bones and different injuries as well. You always hear of injuries and you think to yourself the sort of on-off thing, so you're off the pitch and you don't necessarily think about the work it takes to get back on and the process of recuperation. What exactly are you doing at the minute to, even as you're waiting for the cast to come off, to get back to full fitness?
Yeah, at the minute, so I've never actually really had a hand injury. Every injury I've had has been like lower body, so it's different this time, so I can actually run and stuff and not limited that way, so it's a good opportunity to get my fitness back up, and I can do certain exercises in the lower body in the gym, which helps too in my development there, but obviously upper body you just sort of have to take a hit on it and 6 to 8 weeks to get back at it again whenever the cast comes off, and work on it from there. But it's a good opportunity to work on other parts of your body whenever you can't really do that in season.
Silver linings,
yeah,
as they say,
There's positives to it too, but it's obviously frustrating to be out and not being able to play the game that you work hard to play. So yeah,
definitely. And the modern game, Jonny, players, I would say, are pretty lucky to have the facilities, especially down at Kingspan, the gym, the rehab facilities, to get you back out in the pitch when you are unfortunately injured.
Yeah, exactly. The facilities down at the Kingspan are unreal. The gym every day. We're in most days for the academy lads. It's a serious setup coming from Newforge over summer. It's been really it's been a real step up out in the pitch as well. We were able to use the clients of school pitches up the back. So it's always, no matter what the weather is, even in the snow, we've been having the shovels getting about. But now the artificial pitch out there really allows us to train really any weather.
Yeah. How good is it to have the setup even around the first team as well, with the A setup, the academy? How good is it to have that for young players to be coming through and being able to have what looks like a shorter step now into the first team than it maybe used to be in the past?
Look, yeah, it's nice to have all the players side by side, the academy and the seniors walking past each other in the corridors and having the same changing rooms as well. Sure, you get to know them a little bit better before, hopefully, if you make the step up into the senior side, the transition is definitely a lot easier than apparently it used to be anyway. And you've seen that a couple of times this year. But it's something everyone really works towards, and we really enjoy having being close to the likes of Christian Lealiifano and all the experienced guys up there. So yeah,
I think you can notice with that interlink too, like how well the A's and the seniors are coming along now, whereas that gap's been sort of closed. Like the A's are doing a lot better than what they have in previous years, and there has been more academy lads stepping up into that senior role in recent years. So I think now that everything's been brought together and people are getting to have that experience of training with the likes of those guys and training with the seniors more often, it does close that gap, and it helps for everyone's development in the future. Yeah,
well, rightly so. There's been so much hype about our position at the top of the Champions Cup. As well as that, it's been great for the A's and the British and Irish Cup, top of the pool as well there too.
Yeah, no, really good. Like I think having that there, especially after last week, it just was a positive vibe going into training again on Monday for everyone. Like, and obviously it's hard after the seniors have a defeat, or the A's have a defeat, to go into training on Monday morning. Yeah. So I think like the buzz around the place going into this week, which will be another very hard week for both sides, hoping to get 2 home quarterfinals, helps massively. So if one team loses, like the other team's doing everything they can to bring them along and cheer them up again. So like if you have both teams winning and both teams happy, it's a better environment to be around and training in. Yeah, it's something we ask everyone, Adam and Jonny, when they come in for the podcast. Was it always rugby, or were there other things out there that you in the past, maybe growing up, were looking to do?
Like I started playing rugby quite young. My rugby influence would have been family, my dad especially. I played my mini rugby at Lisburn Rugby Club, and he was a coach there. So I played rugby all through minis, all through primary school there, and then went to Wallace and played all my rugby there. Obviously, when I got to 6th year and I had A levels, I knew the route that I was going. It was important to have something to fall back on if the rugby career happened,
Definitely.
so to speak. I always knew of the potential or of the academy setup, and if I worked hard enough to get into that, then it would provide a really good stepping stone onto really having a professional rugby career. So was it always the plan? I'd say it was always there, but you can never be sure of these things. You have to work for it, I guess.
Of course. And Adam, what about you?
Yeah, for me, well, it's definitely always been sports of some point I've been into. So the whole way coming through school, like I was interested in other things too, just like engineering and stuff, but I always knew at the end I didn't want to be stuck in a trade for a lot of my life. So rugby came about and I got an opportunity, and I always just stuck at that and hope for the best each way. But the same as Jonny, I've always had something like that engineering in the back of my mind to go on to if rugby doesn't work out, because even at that, it's a short career and you do have to have something. But yeah, rugby's always put sort of most of my eggs in that basket and hope for the best, and hopefully can keep going the way I am at the minute and see how it goes.
Growing up, who would have been your rugby heroes or your idols, so to speak?
Who would they be? I'm not sure. I'd probably say growing up, it's hard to look past the likes of Tommy Bowe, things like that. Saw a stat or something recently. The first time, or he started playing for Ireland or something, 2004, 2006, Grand Slam winner, and I was asked like, what was it like? Like, was it daunting to like step onto a pitch with him or something along those lines? And like, no, it's not, because they're all so dead on and so nice to you, and they've been through it before, and they make it really easy for you in that sense. Well,
it's a good time now to pay tribute to Tommy, hearing his retirement at the end of the season. He announced that the other day. What a career he's had, 95 odd tries, playing not just for Ulster but of course for Ireland, as we've mentioned, and also for the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah, I think like if you look at Tommy's career, I think everyone around the world knows who Tommy is and knows how well he's done too. So as a young player coming through, especially, like Tommy's always been one to give you a hand, no matter if you're a forward or a back. Like Tommy would always be there to help you out, and it's a credit to him too that no matter how well and how much he focuses on his own career, he's still looking to help those younger lads out. And yeah, fair play to him, because it was a hell of a career, and I think if anyone coming through can have one like that, they'd be happy enough. Yeah,
it would certainly be fitting then to win some silverware this year and send him off on a fantastic note.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's everyone's looking forward to, really working towards. There's a lot of guys, older guys, especially Tommy Bowe, who's obviously announced his retirement, guys maybe getting to the end of their career who are really getting like close to not having be able to, or looking close to be able to say that they've won silverware, and I think that's just the final push that they're getting to this season.
Yeah, well, Jonny, you mentioned Christian Lealiifano, who last week bid farewell to the home fans, playing his last home game against La Rochelle, and a fantastic win as well. Guys like him, guys like Ruan Pienaar, of course, who left last year, it would be lovely for them as well, given the work that they've contributed to the club. And
exactly, yeah, both of those players, Ruan and Christian, have had a massive impact when they've been here at Ulster. Even with the academy, younger guys looking up to them, and senior guys as well, because there's nothing better running onto a pitch with that type of character who knows if things go wrong, like you just look to that type of player who just carried you through, and I think Ulster have really benefited from having both those players.
Yeah, but off the pitch, talking about the likes of Tommy, he's been in here a couple of times as well. He's a great guy to chat to and has plenty of banter. That's something that seems to be ingrained in the culture at Ulster as well, to have plenty of crack and to really gel with your buddies on the pitch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Like obviously, as a supporter's point of view, they only really see the on-field Christian Lealiifano and on-field Tommy Bowe, but like behind the scenes, it's a credit to them all too, because like you say, the banter's always flowing and they're not shy of a joke too, and obviously they have that serious head once it comes to game day, but like throughout the week training, like it's always positive attitude, and what they do give back to other lads around the team's huge, because you don't want someone there that's just all about them. Like they're really team players, and that's what helps with the spirit of like the Ulster squad, and it helps and makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, and Adam as well. It must make that jump into the senior squad a lot less daunting, and certainly a lot more comfortable whenever you know that the players you're playing with on that pitch have your back.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I think that your first training session or two up with the seniors can be scary. Is probably the best word to use for that there. But like, once you have those lads that's able to put an arm around you if you are struggling, you know that it's not a big bad world out there. They're here to help you and help you develop too, and they want you to do the best, so it pushes the rest of the squad on too. Because if you are pushing them older guys, it'll help them out develop too, even more and more in their careers. So look, it's really good having those guys there to help you along the way and tell you it'll be grand if you're struggling, and like, that's the best thing for you whenever you're a young guy coming through.
Yeah. And it seems with the digital era in which we live, players are closer and closer all the time to the scrutiny that they might get from critics. It must be especially important then to be able to learn from those older guys how to compartmentalise and to keep yourself not focusing on that sort of stuff too much.
Exactly, yeah, it's important to focus on your own game, and if you don't have a good game, then the worst thing is looking on social media and looking at some critics who are saying things about you. But no, it's about looking at your own mistakes and doing your own analysis and just yourself focusing on what you need to improve on, and maybe what the coaches want as well. But obviously the fans have a big impact on how people play. Yeah. Obviously if you win, then the fans are behind you, and that's what any player wants, and that's what me and Adam want, and everyone at Ulster want. So yeah, obviously they put in a lot of you can forget that bit there.
That's all right. You certainly made the message very clear anyway. I think that's the case. And despite what a lot of people say though about the perils of social media, if you're to perhaps go about things the wrong way when you're looking at criticism and so on and so forth, it has its benefits too, doesn't it? I mean, it seems to generate a lot. It helps that gelling with different players, and it helps to provide a bit of banter and humour as well, especially when you see things like the McCall Skill School as well, the boys showing their tricks and other things as well. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, there's definitely positives to it too, but I think like behind the scenes we all know what we're trying to do, and whether it be negative or positive, like, we're just going to stick to what we know and like bring each other together. And if someone has had a bad game and they go on to see something bad about them, like, it's a different atmosphere once you're in training. People will be there to help you out and help you what you struggled with at the weekend. So like you say, like, you might go on, you might have had a bad game and see people aren't too happy about it, but like, the only thing you can do is keep your head up and work on that through the week and go out and improve on it next game, next opportunity that you get. And like you said, McCall Skill School's obviously a bit of crack too. Having something like that there around a bit of banter, so
looks like it takes a bit of effort, doesn't it? A fair bit of effort.
A few attempts anyway, I'd say so.
They'd say one attempt, of course. They naturally would say one attempt, but we'll maybe add 100 to that for certain tricks. Mini rugby was something that was mentioned there, and we of course at every home game see 4 mini rugby sides on the pitch at half time, which is great to see. The club gives back to those sides and gives back to the grassroots level sport. How much opportunity do you guys get maybe to go back to school or to mini rugby and to see how things are there? Or
I guess one of the main opportunities we would get would be the summer camps over summer. Players would come in, see the kids who've been there for a whole week, maybe on the Wednesday or the Thursday, and sign things for them and get photos with them. Personally, I haven't been back much, but I would love to go back into school maybe in a couple of years' time and give something back to Wallace, because they've done a lot for me, especially in the later years. So something like that, or even Lisburn as well, I'd love to go back and do.
Yeah, well, for me, I was a bit different than Jonny, so I came through my whole career, youth career was at Randallstown Rugby Club, so I would always try to go out as much as I can. It's obviously hard whenever you're playing on a Saturday with Ballymena and stuff not to get out and see their games, but last year I did a bit of coaching with their under-16s and they did really well too, and like, the youth set up there is really good at the moment, so like, I try to go out as much as I can and see the seniors too. Like, they did a lot for me, so like, wherever I can, just go out to watch, and it's a good atmosphere down there and really enjoy being at the club. So it's obviously a different kind of rugby, but it's a lot more enjoyable, and obviously the seriousness isn't quite there, but they still want to do well as a club and bring everyone along. So I try to go out as much as I can, but sometimes you would struggle.
It's fair play to them as well, as some of the players who take part in mini rugby at halftime at Kingspan when you've got a full house in, say, for a European game. I mean, you see their faces, they're just in awe, aren't they? It's incredible, really, and a great way to introduce them to that sort of atmosphere and environment.
Look, it's a great experience. Like, unfortunately, I never got to do that as a kid. Like, so it's. I'm
You're trying to get a time machine to wind the years back, yeah?
I'm pretty jealous. Never going to see them run onto the pitch at half time, but it's great for them, and it'll obviously make them enjoy rugby more, and it'll probably give them more of an ambition to get there themselves whenever they're older to play there properly with Ulster senior team. And like, I think that the fact that it's 4 teams, like every home game is really good. So you get around the whole clubs, and like, it's not just the same 4 teams every year.
Yeah, you mentioned Randallstown, you mentioned Ballymena as well. Would it be fair to say, and I think Jonny might disagree with this, but would it be fair to say it's the finest part of the country? Up in North Antrim, North Coast, and up there. Being from Ballymena myself.
I don't know if I would agree with that too. No, it's alright. It has its positives, but
it does, doesn't it? When the weather's good, certainly it has its positives. Not the finest, not the most tropical part of the world, anyway. But no, it is good. It's nice whenever you see, players coming from different parts of the world over to play here and getting a chance to explore and the things they have to say about, not just the coast but different parts of Northern Ireland. It's sort of, I suppose it reminds us of how cool this place actually is.
Yeah, it definitely has some real gems anyways people don't know about until they come here and see it for themselves.
Yeah.
I think some of the foreign players have definitely utilised that and gone out not just in Belfast but up to the North Coast and even down south as well, because we're so close to some so much amazing scenery that people wouldn't really know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe they're just not telling us about the bad bits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, looking ahead as well to the Six Nations, which is very, very close indeed. Today's 18th, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're so close to Six Nations, it's unbelievable. I think you get to Christmas and it just kind of flies after that. It seems as if the depth in the Ireland squad is something that hasn't been rivalled before.
Yeah, no, I think like this year, obviously the squad wasn't announced until yesterday, but this year it's seriously competitive, and it has that good the good mix this year of youth and experience, which is something that hasn't been quite as utilised as previous years or previous teams. So this year's going to be really exciting, seeing those young guys come through, and obviously they had a great autumn series and got a few good wins there, so like confidence is high, and the first game's obviously a tough challenge away to France, but I think with the squad this year that they have, you definitely fancy them, and obviously England will be up there too, but it's really exciting, and can't wait for it to start to get watching. Yeah,
and you boys have been involved with the under-20s set up as well, which is great.
Yeah, it's great getting that exposure, the international underage international rugby. I was lucky enough to have it last year, and then Adam 2 years ago, 3 years ago as well.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be going into it this year. We're away to France as well. All our matches are the Friday night before the senior games, so it'll be just as challenging as a senior team for us. Obviously really looking forward to it. First game away to France is going to be really tough. I was talking to Adam beforehand with his experience of being in France for underage games, and the crowds are just as big as if it was a senior game and just as loud as if it was a senior game. So definitely won't be used to playing in that type of atmosphere, but I guess it's just about embracing it and enjoying it as much as you can, and if you go out there cause an upset in the first game, it seriously sends a big message for all other teams in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the French fans surely are passionate, aren't they? I mean, what were your experiences of being out there?
Yeah, that's what we were actually talking about beforehand too. Like, we played over in Narbonne, and it was something still haven't experienced anything like it myself. Like, it was just crazy. I remember Jonny Phillips was going to take the first penalty of the game, and I couldn't hear around me. I couldn't hear anything.
Wow.
Just noise, and like, it's obviously different over here because once someone's going to take a kick, it's quiet. And it's just small things like that there, and like, it plays massive part in your head, like all that noise and the atmosphere that they have, and it's very hostile. But look, I think as an Ireland point of view, like, they've got a strong squad, and they're going to be able to deal very well with that there, and they have that experience, which will help the younger guys that maybe haven't experienced that before, and hopefully they can do well off the bat.
Whenever you boys get home after training, or perhaps get home after a match, or have a day off, would you say that you love turning on the TV and seeing what other rugby's on, or do you like to take yourself completely away from the game and do some other things?
I wouldn't say I don't like watching rugby. Like, definitely I would watch other Pro 14 games, European games at the weekend when they're on TV or whatever. Super Rugby, when it's on as well, is really entertaining to watch. So I completely agree. Like, hard day at rugby, you go home, so you just want to think about other things. But definitely matches, you sit down in front of the TV. I don't think there's any better way other than playing to spend weekends, really.
Yeah, well, I actually go home and I live with Jacob Stockdale, so living with him, you just sort of listen to what he has to say about himself for for most of the night, and then it's time to go to bed. So I don't know.
Well, tell us this, because certain other players have been giving him a bit of jip when they've been in for the podcast, saying that he has portraits up around the house of himself and so on, in full flow before scoring. They wouldn't be wrong.
It's pretty much like that. No, Jacob's a good lad, and he's always doing really well, but yeah, he's a hard man to listen to at times.
Well, he's certainly on fire, and that's, I think, he
backs it up, which is
he acts it up, does he?
Yeah, so, he backs it up. So
he backs it up. Yeah, I thought you said he acts it up.
No,
maybe a bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to have that sort of bonding though between players, and I suppose there's rarely a better opportunity to get to know someone than to live with them as well. And that's something that's away from the pitch, and something that's a life skill really as well.
Yeah, no, so Jonny, I think you were living at home, but I live with Jacob and then 2 other academy lads, Marcus and Jack Regan. So Jack just moved up from Dublin, so it was obviously tough for him coming up, and just new, so we had a spare room, and it was good to have him now joining us too. So it was a bit of crack living with the other rugby lads, and it's nice too, because if you don't want to watch rugby, you want to watch something else and clear the mind, everyone's up for that. If you want to go for food together and just clear the mind from rugby, if you had a bad day or something that got there, it's good to have that there. But then again, once you have a match coming up, everyone respects that, and they'll let you be and let you do your own thing too, if whatever you want to do.
I think in every workplace, and maybe even in every family as well, there tends to be always one person who is known for being late to things. Are there players that are well known for getting to training late, or does everyone tend to be pretty well behaved and get there on time?
Not to throw anyone under the bus.
In the academy, Jonny wanted me to throw.
Come on now.
Jonny wanted me to throw Matty Dalton under the bus, but
come on now.
No, we won't talk too much about that. No, just it's genuinely okay. Obviously, people are late, and there's some things you can't deal with, like traffic and stuff too. But it's not too bad, and people know when they're late, and they'll get a bit of jip for it, but they'll know for next time not to to leave 5 minutes earlier. And it's true that second row Alan O'Connor's in charge of the fines, is he? He is, yeah. So there's a system in place this year where there's obviously fines to be paid, or if you keep reoccurring and getting fined, there'll be a card that you have to pick, which will have different things on it to do. So, oh really? Forfeit type system? Forfeit type system, yeah. So Al's the enforcer, and he's doing a pretty good job of that there. Yeah, does he use his discretion quite a bit, or is it clear to see what sort of things you can and can't do, or does he just tell you? At times you get a message and you try to argue, but I think it's clear enough too that just not to do certain things and you'll be fine. Yeah, and there tend to be a number of social events the boys all go on together as well. Is it Tommy Bowe's in charge of is he the culture committee, or? I'm not too sure actually who's ahead of the culture, or maybe Cavey will be involved in that too. But yeah, look, it's another great way of bonding as a team, and obviously it helps taking the serious aspect out of week to week training and week to week games. It gives you a bit of crack, and you can start ahead for a night or a day, or doing an activity that's away from rugby with the same teammates that you're going to be playing with week in, week out. Which is really good. What are your hopes for the rest of this season? Maybe that's a bit far in the distance to be concentrating on. I know you guys like to take it game by game. It's always the phrase, but what do you think? I'd say short term, obviously Six Nations coming up, under 26 Nations, so that would obviously be great to have a good campaign there with the guys, and then bring that through in the Junior World Cup later on in May and June time, which is to be held in France. So obviously getting selected for that would be great, and getting out there and putting in a good performance, and maybe doing as well as Adam's year did, getting to the final, maybe going one step further. That would be great. Ulster wise, it's, as a young academy player, you just want to get as much exposure to the senior team as possible, whether that's training with them, whether that's playing with them, either or. It's just learn as much as you can early on, because if you learn it early on, it's more likely to stay with you and get habitual as you move up in your career. Definitely. And Adam, what about you? Yeah, for the rest of the season anyway, I'm just first of all, and then hopefully get an opportunity at some stage towards the latter of the season, and leave myself in a good place going into pre-season, where I can hopefully really kick on then. It's obviously going to be tough with Rory, Rob and John doing really well at the minute ahead of me, but just want to put myself in the best position I can with whatever opportunities that I get, and be ready to go if I'm called upon.
Fantastic. Well, boys, thanks so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to the two of you. And we joke about fines, but I know that it is coming up to the top of the hour, and I don't want Alan O'Connor to be standing by your cars with a parking ticket or anything like that. So I better let you go. But thanks very much once again. Hopefully, chat to you both soon.
Thanks for having us. Cheers,
boys. Cheers. Boys, cheers. Boys, cheers. Boys, cheers.